My first time bass fishing, my brother took me out onto the local reservoir. 1,000 casts later, I caught my first bass. Years later, my knowledge has increased with experience, and I'm here to inform you all of this knowledge. According to an article in the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection website, by the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife, largemouth bass can be caught in a wide variety of different habitats, and how you catch them depends on the temperatures, the seasons, and the techniques that you use. You should all listen to this speech about catching largemouth bass, because I know you are all familiar with the sport of fishing in general, but you don't all know the different aspects that go into increasing your catch. And by listening to this speech, you will all gain more knowledge on the movements of largemouth bass, as well as the exact techniques used to catch them. First, I will talk about structure. Then, I will talk about seasons. Finally, I'll talk about techniques. Let's first consider structure. According to Mark Hicks, editor at Field and Stream magazine, largemouth bass relate to structure and can be found in near different types depending on the time of the day. Like I just said, bass relate to it. There's man-made or there's natural structure. Your man-made structure includes your docks and your bridges. And your natural structure includes vegetation, it includes rocks, and it includes wood. This vegetation is any vegetation you see, lily pads, grass that grows, and wood structure includes trees, fallen down trees, stumps, and then you of course have rocks and boulders in your lakes and reservoirs. Bass relate to all of this. It offers them protection and a place to breed, as well as a place to take cover from the sunlight and other predator animals. Now that I've discussed structure, let's talk about seasons. You have your spring, summer, fall, and winter, and bass relate to these seasons in different ways. According to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection website, by the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife, changing temperatures with the incoming seasons affects bass movements, as well as their levels of metabolism, which is important to factor in while angling. We'll consider spring first. Bass become active in the spring. Their metabolism rises. They start spawning in shallow regions. This right here is a spawning bed. They're easy to spot in the spring. They're in the shallow areas, and bass are breeding on these. And they're also actively feeding, which makes it very easy to catch them in the spring. And now let's talk about summer. Bass are generally deep during the day in the summer. They're shallow in the morning and the evening. They're deep because of the rising surface temperatures. And they're shallow in the morning and evening because the surface temperatures cool down. So when you're fishing, you want to stick shallow in the summer in the morning and evening. Now we'll talk about fall. Fish are actively feeding in the fall. They're preparing for the winter. They're usually shallow or they're schooling in open areas of the lake, searching for bait fish, preparing for the long months ahead during the winter. Now we'll talk about winter. Bass metabolism drops. They move deep. They're very sluggish in the winter. It's hard to catch them. They're not active at all. They're really not feeding during the winter. Now that I've discussed seasons, let's consider techniques. According to Steve Quinn, editor at InFisherman magazine, since bass are typically found near a wide variety of different types of structure, you need to consider a variety of different lures that can reach them. You have your jigging, swigging, swimming, and topwater. Those are the main techniques that you use to catch bass. We'll first talk about jigging. And these are your weighted hooks. They're used to fish structure so that your hook does not get caught in the structure. This right here covers the hook from getting stuck in, say, wood or vegetation. You fish them at a slow retrieve. They mimic different types of baits, such as crayfish or any type of bait fish on the lake. Now, we'll talk about your swimming baits. You have your hard baits, such as your crankbaits. This right here is a crankbait. They mimic bait fish. You also have spinner baits and spoons. These all allow you to cover the water at a faster rate. Constant retrieve. They mimic the bait fish and they cover different sections of the water column. And now you have your soft bait swimming baits. These are, again, this is a weight and a hook with a soft bait on it that mimics a bait fish. Again, you could fish these at different levels of the water, and you could cover water very fast with these. And as I draw to a close, I'd like to stress 3 things. First, bass relate to structure. Without structure, your chances of catching bass are much lower. Finding the structure is key to catching them. Second, seasons predict the movements and activeness of bass. Third, the techniques that you use, which I have gone over, will determine your success while fishing. Now that you have learned the ways to catch largemouth bass, as I have since my first time fishing, you can all use this knowledge to your advantage the next time you go fishing.